How Brits view Germans. How Germans view Brits. Actual Germans and Brits. They're literally the same. Just like the British monarchy. I mean, wasn't Elizabeth pretty German anyways? I'm Swedish. It's true that we don't serve food to guests. What's the problem? As a child, I didn't really care. I just continued playing while the host family ate dinner. Swedes, unironically, don't see a problem with eating in front of a hungry guest child. It is a bit odd, I have to admit. Much of Northern Europe, in fact, is very unlikely to give you food at all. Versus the South, if you are in their house, they're probably gonna feed you. The internet is filling up because Indians are sending millions of good morning texts. Also, WhatsApp freezes because Indians send over 100 good morning messages it just can't handle. Chad, polite India out here bringing meta corporations like Google and Facebook to their knees. I didn't think it'd be this easy to destroy them like that. It's so simple. Botswana to send 20,000 elephants to Germany. Yeah, this is actually a threat, I'm pretty sure. I love how all the news articles are using that word as well. Threatening Germany with 20,000 elephants. Why can I only think about Hannibal with his elephants crossing the Alps right now? That's what Botswana's about to do. You got $3.5 million. Which do you prefer? This tank or this McLaren? The tank with 1,500 horsepower versus the McLaren with only 800? One seats 3.5 people, the other only one. How lame. Where am I going to put the homies at? One has a cannon, the other does not. And finally, the tank can drive anywhere versus, yeah, the McLaren will have trouble on bumpy roads. This seems like just such an obvious answer. Who wants the little vehicle anyways? Try to take this to the next tailgate. I feel like every week I Google, can you buy a tank? And I'm always pleasantly surprised. This is Smaug, the dragon from The Hobbit. He sleeps on a bed of gold. Forbes ranks Smaug as the second wealthiest fictional character. He used to be first, but the price of gold has tumbled. His worth 51 billion. But that means even though he has an entire mountain full of gold, he would still only be the 15th wealthiest American. 14 Americans have more money than a gold hoarding dragon. That's what we've come to. And the guys at the top are beating him badly, like Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos. Elon could beat out 3 different Smaugs with 3 different mountains of gold. Something's just not right about that. This is America. This is America. This is America. But this isn't America. Oh, that's the Falklands. Very good point. I always discuss that anyone from the North or South American continents are technically American. However, when it comes to the Falklands, I mean, technically it's America, but they're British controlled. I guess the same as like French Guyana. Anyways, Argentina knows a lot about this story. Meanwhile, on April 2nd at exactly 12 a.m., everyone, yeah, I guess it was an April Fool's joke to where the, okay, I guess Tyler 1 here is not a fan of the European Union. This was an American subreddit that posted it, I guess, for April Fools. They were joking and being patriotic Europeans, and I guess the moment April 2nd started, they didn't want to do that anymore. Italy's healthcare in crisis. Italy's companies have left or relocated. Italy's poverty crisis deepens. My routine is very simple. I wake up and suffer. Wait, this is going against what I had read. I thought Italy's economy is actually doing pretty good right now. I'm seeing mixed headlines here. Hey, look, it's Romania and Bulgaria trying to get into the Schengen zone. Meanwhile, Austria the whole time. Well, I mean, they eventually let go. Romania and Bulgaria just entered this, although with some restrictions, I will say. I'm not sorry if this offends the woke lefties. About time you learned that Jesus was British and Easter eggs are British, and if you don't like it, then you can leave. I'll never forget one of Jesus's most famous quotes. Don't remember the context, but it's enlightening. Don't forget, on Sunday, the clocks go back this weekend. I'm setting mine to 1940 when this country had some bollocks. And there's Twitter adding, the clocks go forward this weekend. Oh, okay, well, I guess we'll have to wait 6 months before we can post this meme. A tree from the set of the live-action Minecraft movie has been spotted. Nah, that's just how they look like in New Jersey. We gotta bring back telling brand accounts to shut the frick up. Yeah. Dear Luigi, why are you too incompetent to finish your buildings? I mean, there does seem to be a lack of roofs on a lot of these. This post was made by the very competent builders of the Netherlands. Apparently there's been a rivalry going on. Italy versus Swamp Germany, a presentation. Most refined group of Dutchmen supporting their national team versus least elegant Italian supporting their national team. Most generous Dutchman, okay, versus least generous okay, a lot of references to him this week. Most coordinated giant Dutch versus the absolute clumsiest Italian. Okay. Ugliest landmarks in Italy. Most interesting landscape in the Netherlands. Italy equals rich Italy, basically, versus Netherlands, which is nether pores. Ignore this slide. Conclusions, Netherlands, Italian noises. The nether poor part is true. They can't even afford housing, while the Italians pay nothing for housing until they're 40. Oh, I see what they're doing there. Me refusing to use my capacity to speak perfect French when in Brussels as I watch the minimum wage coffee shop employees stumble over his words in broken Dutch. Man, I wish I had this power to be like so fluent in like 2 or 3 different languages. I never understand how Chad it would be to feel like this. Meanwhile, pork fat on bread. Western Europeans hearing that along with vegans. Then there's Eastern Europeans that can't get enough of it. Pork fat on bread. I mean, I'm down to give it a shot. Americans when the trees start speaking Vietnamese. Russians when the snow starts speaking Finnish. Swedes when a bus passenger starts speaking. They're about to disintegrate your body and leave your remains outside of an IKEA. Okay, so the Swedes are not going to want to feed you if you're a guest at their house, and they don't want any social interactions on the bus. Got it. As a final test of your Norwegian proficiency, you will now have to speak to a Danish immigrant. Oh no. Or any Dane for that matter. Talk about cruel and unusual punishment. Me accidentally falling through the toilet of a random outhouse in the rural American Midwest and discovering an advanced laboratory housing and a normal electric entity anomalous, something like that. What video game are we referencing? Call of Duty Zombies? The Canary Islands demanded tourist tax and clampdown on families flying over to drink cheap beer. Also lay in the sun and eat burgers and chips as local brand Airbnb a cancer is consuming the island. Okay, the Canaries are apparently not happy. Lots of anti-tourist graffiti. I knew Spanish locals living in the mainland were not big fans of British tourists, but dang, even on the islands as well? What about Ibiza? A sizable portion of Pakistan was once part of the Greater Persian Empire, not the Indian subcontinent as you have misstated. Pakistanis and Iranians are pretty much about the same. Whoa, hold up. Glory to Persia. Thank you for that, my Pakistani waifu. Turkish city Konya is bigger than the Netherlands. Rotterdam economy is bigger than the total Turkish economy. My old Lego bricks are worth more than the okay. Man, who's not going after the Dutch this week? Iberian men dreaming about one day growing as tall as a Dutch woman. Me too, Portugal and Spain. Me too. Slovakia going to poop, eh? Maybe it's time to move to Czechia. Or even better, just bring back that Czechoslovakian empire. I've been missing that for a while now. Russian network that paid European politicians busted, authorities claim. Meanwhile, politicians and Voice of Europe Russian stuff. Oh, was this found out by Czechia? The Czech Republic, I know what I have to do, and I have the strength to do it. I have no idea what they're talking about. Russia saying, we got no food, we got no ammo, and planes are falling out of the sky. That's definitely not the combination you'd want. Meanwhile, in Ukraine, Ukrainians like, you're losing. It was all feigned Russian strong. Meanwhile, we must push for more action by the West. We're definitely losing ground. Things are getting difficult. Ukrainian are surely done for 0.0002 kilometer advance. Oh, that's right. I've been seeing those. Like I said, is this just gonna be a forever thing now? Another Korean peninsula? Map of Europe as an American who isn't taking geography in high school, I think I got half right. Well, they got Germany and France. Then there's New England. England, Scotland, Spain, Western Spain. Yeah, I think we can accept that answer. Italy, Brussels, Bosnian Brussels, maybe. Western Serbia, Northern Greece, nailed it. What, what? Okay, come on. This, all right, well, I definitely would say if Americans have a part of Europe really not down when it comes to geography, it would specifically be the eastern side. Like, if they're gonna get any ones right, it would be the West. They're not gonna get all of them right, though, obviously. Yes, Ireland and Northern Ireland with their little volcano up here. I'm actually surprised that they got Sweden and Norway right. German islands. I mean, I'm going to accept a lot of these answers, so maybe actually more than 50% are right here. Arabian Peninsula. This is so good. I'm so sorry I couldn't help you before this. And big thanks to my patrons this month.
Drew, je suis ton père de retour avec le lait, regarde dehors.
DOOCHBAGGINS, Amateur, Archaeology, Carmel Saida, Tambre, Fredrik Tibblin, Henrik Hedlund, DaBeautiful, MEGAN-Underwood, JohnDenver, KirinoIsBestGirl, Sebby. The Mexicans, 760.